Hi everyone, my name is Akshita Naik. My husband and I own Alternative Roots Wellness Center. We are based in Essex Junction in Vermont, and we offer our nutrition and chiropractic services here. Thank you so much for watching our videos and subscribing to our YouTube channel. It means a lot to a small business like ours. So thank you once again. Okay, so far I have usually talked about questions that I'm asked about often. Today I want to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about something that I'm not asked often about. In fact, it is something that I bring up with my clients based on our conversations because I think it's important for them to know and also reach out for any help that they might need. Before I get started, I do have to provide a warning. I will be talking about eating disorders, triggers, symptoms, behaviors, and much more. So, if this is something that you find difficult to discuss or watch or participate in, then please know to step back right now. If you need any help, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me privately so that I can help you out in any way possible. So, today let's talk about orthorexia. What is orthorexia? Orthorexia is an eating disorder where somebody develops an unhealthy obsession for healthy eating to the point where it sort of affects their entire life. I would like to highlight a few facts here before I move on to talking about orthorexia in more detail. Something I've noticed over the past decade I've been doing this. All of us have some issue with the way our body looks. It could be varying levels of body dysmorphia, which is where your opinion of your body does not really match the facts. All you can see are flaws that need to be fixed, and that isn't the case. Or it could be varying levels of different eating disorders, and for some of them, people need to step in and provide the help and support that the individual needs. I cannot tell you the number of clients who have told me, no matter their weight or however thin they are, that they have last 5 pounds that they're trying to lose. All of these have made it necessary that I have had to learn how to talk to people about these issues and the mental health concerns that go with it. There are stereotypical expectations of what somebody who has body dysmorphia or an eating disorder looks, sounds, and eats like. It isn't always women. It isn't always a very thin person. It isn't always somebody who's depressed. And it isn't always somebody trying to get attention. In fact, in this age of social media, body dysmorphia and eating disorders can begin at a very young age based on the images that we're constantly bombarded with. What is the right body shape? Which celebrity is trying out what new diet? How popular or unpopular is someone who looks different from us? All of these can have a big impact on young minds, and this is something that needs to be addressed. It is important to understand that cultural and societal pressures make it so that there isn't a particular type of person who experiences all of this. Families are sometimes surprised that they didn't actually pay attention or notice this behavior earlier. And all of this is true for orthorexia as well, where more often than not, the person is appreciated for that behavior. And all of this is true about orthorexia as well, where more often than not, the person is appreciated for their behavior or commended for their behavior. Nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes and the troubles and pain that the person is going through to project this outward image. Think about it. What would you think if you saw somebody who's very particular about what they eat? They know the calorie counts of all these different snacks and the food they're about to eat, or they have what you think is willpower to stay away from things that have been labeled as bad and toxic foods. What would you think about them? Most people will listen to this, be amazed by the willpower, and then compliment the person. They're health conscious. Good for them. That's usually how all of this is spoken about. Now, I'm not saying every person who is paying attention to their diet is or has orthorexia. What I'm saying is that there's a fine line where you can step from the healthy side to the unhealthy side. And that is where conversations with somebody can really help understand this. Because orthorexia can start in a good place. You just want to be proactive about your health. Maybe you want to be better about your diet. Maybe you need to lose a little bit of weight. Orthorexia can also start in another good place with people like me who are professionals and who are studying nutrition to help others sort of navigate this minefield. But then slowly, over time, this turns into an obsession that then interferes with daily life. Usually, it includes wanting to eat only natural, clean, pure, or good foods. Now, understand, there are no true definitions for these words in the field of nutrition or in nutrition research. So, an individual can define it in any way that they would like to, and then keep pushing the boundaries to attain what they think is their goal of perfection. Food is associated with their self esteem, so eating these foods gives them a sense of satisfaction and superiority, and any deviation leads to immense guilt and punishment as well. Punishment is usually in some form of stricter dieting, fasts, or increased exercise. How many diets are out there right now that require you to either restrict or remove completely whole food groups from your diet? No carb or low carb, high no fat or low fat, no processed food, no sugar. So many different versions of this. And of course, this helps you pay more attention to your diet, and in most cases this does not lead into any type of a health concern, but in some cases it can quickly progress into one. So, what are the symptoms of orthorexia? There are many. I'm going to outline just a few. Spending a lot of time thinking about food, how you meal plan, being very particular about grocery shopping, being suspicious of foods that you haven't prepared yourself, so you wonder what is in there that you don't normally eat, talking often about whole foods and clean foods and good foods, which automatically mean that there are dirty foods or there are bad foods that can have a big impact on your mental health. Linking your self-esteem and emotional well-being to food. Arriving at parties having already eaten. Eating a very restrictive diet when no medical concern has really asked for it. Looking at calorie contents, looking at nutrition labels, and being able to discuss calorie counts of different snacks without really needing to look at boxes anymore. Being critical or hyper observant about the eating habits of others and offering opinions all the time. And then this can also result in weight fluctuations, sleep issues, and many other health concerns. If you look at this list, it becomes obvious that it takes a deep conversation and observation to differentiate between somebody who is just being proactive about their health versus someone who has now developed a new health concern which has creeped into their life without them having realized it. This is also why my appointments with my clients are longer than normal, and why I stay in touch with them through email and phone if necessary, as they get used to all these changes and adaptations that we work on together. So, what can you do if you think you have orthorexia or might know somebody who does? Well, the first thing to do is talk about it, whether you speak to somebody else or you speak to the person you know, and make sure they address this. The second step is to get professional help. Behavioral therapy becomes important because you need to get to the underlying factors, what is causing the obsessive behaviors, and what emotions are sort of caught up in all of this with their diet. Group therapy also helps. Other support can come from a nutritionist who can look at your diet and help you slowly move towards one that will address your needs as well as any concerns that you initially started out with. I've noticed that I have patients who specifically tell me about how they want to talk about certain foods or what triggers we need to avoid. So you need to make sure you speak to somebody who understands all of this. Medications can also be useful because if there's any anxiety or depression that this is stemming from, then that needs to be addressed. Yes, the first step is to recognize this, and the second one is to reach out for help. This might seem simple, but it's not easy. So make sure if you know somebody who's going through this, that you are supportive. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can do that on our website, on our Facebook page, or you can also leave comments and questions right here on our YouTube channel. If there are topics you would like us to address, go ahead and leave us a comment here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated on all the new videos we will be posting soon. As always, thank you for your time. Be well.